Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Wednesday, the 24th day of June. This is CTV News. Tonight, guilty as charged. A jury convicts a St. John man of killing 2 boys. The hefty price tag needed to keep Halifax harbor ferries afloat. And fresh from the oven, a Hong Kong chef brings his flair for cheesecake to the Maritime.
Live from our Maritime's News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. An unscheduled stop today for passengers on an Air Canada flight from Newark, New Jersey to Halifax. The flight diverted, and the first officer landed the plane in Boston when the pilot suffered some kind of medical emergency. He was helped off the aircraft and then taken to hospital after the plane touched down. There is no word on his condition tonight. Air Canada says there were 61 passengers on board at the time. At last report, they were rebooked and scheduled for a later arrival here in Halifax. A quick verdict today in a double murder case in St. John. 46-year-old convicted of killing 2 boys aged 17 and 10 in an apartment in January of last year. CTV's Avery McCrae has been covering the trial.
It was on the morning of January 29th last year that Roman Commissioner stabbed the 2 boys, aged 17 and 10 years old, to death before attempting to take his own life with the use of a nail gun at a St. John North End apartment. The victims' identities are protected under a publication ban, but the media was allowed to describe the case as one involving alleged domestic violence. Over the course of the 9-day trial, the Crown called 23 witnesses to the stand. That included multiple St. John police officers, the pathologist who conducted the autopsies of the boys, and Witness A, an ex-partner of Commissioner whose identity is protected by a publication ban. The Crown had told the court Commissioner was driven by vengeance. Commissioner was the lone witness to take the stand for the defense and testified he couldn't remember the morning the 2 boys died. During the trial, the jury heard and viewed a number of graphic images and content. That included body camera footage of the first arriving officers on the scene, as well as detailed photos of the shirts worn by the boys when they were killed. While neither the Crown nor defense would offer a comment following the verdict, St. John Police offered a statement thanking all those involved in finding the 46-year-old guilty.
This case has had a profound impact on the victims' family, their friends, and our entire community. While no verdict can undo the harm that has been done, accountability is an important step in recognizing that harm.
Following the verdict, the jury was discharged by Justice Daryl Stevenson, who commended them for their service. This has been an emotional trial with difficult testimony. As the verdicts were read out loud, at least one juror could be seen wiping away tears. A first-degree murder conviction carries an automatic life sentence of 25 years. This matter will return to the court on August 13th for Commissioner's sentencing. We expect to hear victim impact statements at that time. Avery McCrae, CTV News, St. John.
There has been a major police investigation ongoing for days in a neighborhood in Moncton, but police are so far not talking about it. Neighbors tell CTV News police vehicles have been parked outside the 2 homes on Henry Street since Monday. Police will only say it's part of an ongoing investigation. Area residents say they've seen this kind of thing before.
There's always calls of noise level or fights or stir down the street. It's pretty much a calm neighborhood here. Families, elder people, we're retired.
Several neighbors telling CTV News detectives were canvassing the neighborhood yesterday, looking for information on a man who's been missing since last month. Ottawa is pledging another $6 million to help fight homelessness in HRM.
As a community, we are working towards functional zero homelessness, where homelessness is rare, brief, and non-recurring.
The announcement came this afternoon, having been approved by the Reaching Home Community Advisory Board. The cash will be funneled to 16 projects operated by local frontline organizations, including Bryony House, Shelter Nova Scotia, and 902 Man Up.
I think it's going to allow Reaching Home to get a better understanding for the data that they're responsible for collecting in terms of what's actually happening within the African Nova Scotian community, but it also allows us as an organization to better partner with them so that we have a better understanding how they function.
Other beneficiaries of the funding include the Halifax Refugee Center and the Mi'kmaq Native Friendship Center.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Looks like it's going to take some serious cash to keep the ferry fleet in Halifax afloat. About $45 million, in fact. Still, there is support to spend the money on the service. CTV's Callum Smith explains.
A city staff report says the ferries need more than $20 million in repairs, while the 3 terminals are expected to need about $23 million, but additional assessments are ongoing. The city says delays in the Mill Cove ferry project also put additional strain on the Halifax terminal. The ferries, between 8 and 12 years old, are due for mandatory midlife overhauls planned to start in 2029. On average, 5,500 people use the ferries on weekdays, with weekend numbers ranging from 29 to 4,900. That's part of why locals and visitors who spoke to CTV today say the money is worthwhile.
That's a lot of money. But I think they need the ferry.
I think it's a top priority. The government spent all kinds of money on different things. Not to get too into bike lanes and so on and so forth. Yeah, so put some money into the ferry service and maybe upgrade them.
And ferry service provides necessary foot traffic for businesses in Alderney Landing.
It's very important because many people pass for here, so it's a help for our business.
The report was to be debated by council yesterday, but that discussion was postponed to a future council meeting. Responding to ferry reliability concerns last month, Mayor Andy Fillmore said he's awaiting more information, including a separate third-party report that's reviewing the overall ferry service. That report is due to council in the fall. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Meantime, Ottawa is spending on infrastructure in North Sydney for the Newfoundland ferry.
It's huge.
About $80 million earmarked today for improvements to the Marine Atlantic ferry service. This comes as the company is facing a possible strike and a challenge to its status as an essential service. Company officials declined to comment on that today, but others were talking.
Growing up in a union family and now in government, I always believe that the best deals, the best approaches to moving things forward are at the bargaining table, and we'll let those processes run its course.
Marine Atlantic says the money announced today will help modernize the terminal property, improve loading and unloading capacity, and make the service greener and more efficient. Good news for renters in New Brunswick. The province's rent cap will remain in effect through next year. It means increases are limited to no more than 3%. Here's CTV's Nick Moore.
The 3% rent cap has been in effect since February 2025. Today, the provincial government announced it will remain throughout the 2027 calendar year. David Hickey is New Brunswick's minister responsible for housing.
We see a long-term place in this province for a rent cap. Renters have said overwhelmingly, New Brunswickers have said overwhelmingly that they want that predictability and stability out of the rent. The single biggest part of their monthly budget.
The New Brunswick Apartment Owners Association has previously said the cap prevents its members from managing rising costs and that some property owners may have to leave the business. The association did not reply to our request for comment today. Hickey said the government is striking a balance.
On one side, having the rent cap. On the other side, removing the HST on new multi-unit construction.
I think had they stopped the rent cap or increase that percentage, that would have surprised us.
Nicola Taylor of Acorn, New Brunswick says maintaining the cap is critical, but more needs to be done, naming examples such as a ban on fixed-term leases and no-fault evictions. A review of the Residential Tenancies Act is expected to be completed this fall.
We're hopeful that, it's going to bring some good changes because it hasn't been updated in over 50 years, and it doesn't reflect on the modern day changes or challenges that tenants face today.
As for the 3% rent cap, it will be subject to another review next May. Nick Moore, CTV News, St. John.
Nova Scotia has unveiled a new strategy to sell more seafood and help grow the industry. CTV's Jesse Thomas has more from Cape Sable Island.
The announcement was made at Sea Star Seafood's processing facilities, with Fisheries Minister Kent Smith laying out the details of the strategy that hopes will boost the seafood sector and the economy.
We all want the province to grow. We want the GDP to grow. We want businesses to grow, to hire more people, be more productive.
The strategy is built on 4 pillars: market and product innovation, industry growth and innovation, operational efficiency, and marketing. Those in the industry welcome the plan and say it comes at a critical time when companies are seeing a shift in consumer demand and innovation changes.
Often when we're working on the industry, we're focused on a different target than the government may be. We might be focused on 5 months or 6 months. What this does is this gives us a very clear 3-year target to try and get to.
The efficiencies from the adoption of automation and AI and the rest gives us the people back. Our intention is to employ more people. Not less.
Industry leaders say this strategy provides a roadmap and gets everyone on the same page. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Clarks Harbour, Nova Scotia.
Well, it was a big night for soccer fans following the FIFA World Cup. All these fans here gathering tonight in a Halifax establishment, Niche Lounge. Canada ultimately lost the match 2-1 to Switzerland, but will still advance to the next stage of the tourney. The next game for Canada will be a knockout match in Los Angeles. That's coming up on the 28th of June. Still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll examine the stigma that many men face when it comes to mental health. Coming up next, though, a crucifix controversy.
I was born and raised a Catholic. So you could say your Piss Christ is a religious work of art.
A celebrated local gallery facing some backlash for a religious piece that's offended a great many people over the years. That's next. Stay with us.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Join us all this week for the $1,000 Minute with Atlantic Superstore.
Celebrating 40 years and giving you $200 just for playing this week.
A new piece at the Beaverbrook Art Gallery in Fredericton is garnering some attention and some controversy. But as CTV's Anna Mandan tells us tonight, that is exactly what the gallery was expecting.
Piss Christ was a reflection of my life as an artist and also as a Christian.
Artist Andre Serrano is standing by his highly controversial art piece that shows a photo of a crucifix suspended in his own urine. The artwork has been the center of controversy for decades. In 2011, it was attacked by protesters while on display in France. And in New Brunswick, it continues to raise concerns.
If it was an image of your loved one or my loved one that was immersed in urine and displayed publicly for people to look at, there's a certain amount of shock there and of difficulty. And for Christians, this is our God, and this is an image of our God.
She's not alone in expressing distaste for Serrano's work. New Brunswick MP John Williamson took to Facebook to call out the display, saying the gallery was recycling controversy from long ago. But Serrano says the image reflects his religious identity.
I've been a Christian all my life. I was born and raised a Catholic. So you could say your Piss Christ is a religious work of art coming from Andre Serrano.
While Beaverbrook Art Gallery's executive director says the image is part of its focus on ecclesiastical art and that insult was not the intention.
Because an experience with art is such a deeply personal experience, it's really impossible for me to comment on any individual's response to any work of art.
But Mazarol says there are other religious works of art the gallery could have used.
If the goal is to launch a series that focuses on religious and ecclesiastical art, profaning the sacred isn't the way to accomplish this. again, there's a dignity that needs to be upheld at every step of the way.
The piece, along with several others of Serrano's, will be on display at the gallery until the end of November. Anna Mandan, CTV News, Fredericton.
Okay, thank you, Anna. Time for a quick little break, but when we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. Beautiful night for a swing at First Lake in Sackville. Stay with us. We'll swing right back. Wednesday evening, 24th day of June. It took a while for things to kind of, all the rain to sort of clear out, but when it did, awfully nice evening around here.
Yeah, it was nice to see the sunshine break out across parts of the Maritimes. And behind all of that wet weather, of course, was a little bit active afternoon into evening for areas of New Brunswick as some thunderstorms moved through. For the remainder of tonight, though, just a few clouds around and some fog patches developing, and that fog will be around for parts of the Maritimes at the start of the day for tomorrow, mostly for coastal areas. But as we move from the morning into the afternoon, the fog will dissipate, and then tomorrow's looking like a pretty fair weather day for the region. Generally a mix of sun and cloud. Not expected to be a blue sky day for most parts of the Maritimes. There will be at least a little bit of cloud cover present. Some of the sunnier conditions expected tomorrow in western areas of Nova Scotia. Now in the afternoon and continuing on into the early evening, there's a very low chance of a couple very spotty showers in western areas of New Brunswick. But with those, for any given community, it's like a 20% chance of a shower. There will be some wet weather that starts to return for parts of the Maritimes at the end of this week. As we take a look at winds in the forecast for the rest of tonight, mostly out of the west and northwest, and tomorrow's winds will become easterly for areas of New Brunswick as we move into and through Thursday afternoon. Mostly out of the north for Prince Edward Island for tomorrow and for eastern areas of Nova Scotia, and then out of the northwest for western areas of Nova Scotia. Most of the winds tomorrow sustain 10 to 20 kilometers per hour with some gusts between 20 and 40. Now, low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for the Maritimes, 11 to 15 degrees. Cooler around Edmundston in the northwest of New Brunswick. They're closer to 8. Highs in the forecast for tomorrow for the north of New Brunswick, 20 to 23 degrees, except 18 to 20 on parts of the coast. 23 for Fredericton for tomorrow, close to 24 for McAdam and St. Stephen, 21 degrees for Graham and Ann, then 23 at St. John, and a little bit cooler in Moncton in the southeast, near 19 there. Prince Edward Island on Thursday with high temperatures of 15 to 17 degrees, and in Cape Breton, a little bit cooler, especially for Inverness County. Highs there, 13 to 16. The rest of Cape Breton with highs mostly between 15 and 18. Around the high teens for the north shore of mainland Nova Scotia. On the eastern shore, highs between 17 and 20 degrees. 20 for Amherst for tomorrow, 24 for Truro, and for the city centers, Halifax and Dartmouth. It'll also be pleasant temperatures for the Annapolis Valley on Thursday with highs near 24 degrees. And on the south shore of Nova Scotia, most of the high temperatures between 21 and 25, though it might be as warm as 26 or 27 in interior areas of the southwest. Taking a look at the extended forecast for New Brunswick, there's the showers developing through the day on Friday, down to a lower chance of showers on Saturday. Looking like a fair weather mix of sun and cloud through the end of the weekend and the start of next week with temperatures warming up. After that's a chance of showers on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week with a mix of sun and cloud. For Nova Scotia in the outlook, we have some showers arriving late in the day on Friday. Further showers Friday night into Saturday. That then clears through, and looking at pretty nice weather conditions at the end of the weekend and the start of next week. There'll be a chance of showers on Tuesday and a mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday. And for Prince Edward Island, the forecast, a little bit cooler for tomorrow, but high temperatures expected to get up back near 22 on Friday, though there will be some showers arriving late in the day. And then cools on Saturday with some more showers moving through, but then temperatures warming up with a mix of sun and cloud Sunday, Monday of next week, chance of showers on Tuesday, and a mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday. Bruce.
All right, thank you, my friend. Wake up weather is still to come. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
So this is Men's Health Month, the time to focus on wellness, prevention, and an overall healthier lifestyle. However, when it comes to mental health, it seems a lot of men continue to fall through the cracks, not receiving the support they need. As CTV's Vanessa Wright tells us tonight, stigma seems to have a lot to do with that.
10 years ago, Ahmed Jabir was a promising psychology student. He played sports, had friends, but behind the scenes, he was battling with his mental health.
When I first went to therapy, I don't think I even told anybody the first 6 months because there was so much resistance for me wanting to even just share with people that I am struggling with it.
He says stigmas around the topic are what kept him from getting help. A recent study found 1 in 5 men report having moderately severe to severe depression or anxiety.
A very large number of young men, about 1 in 3, still see help seeking as a sign of weakness. And that worries me, right? Because if you see that as a sign of weakness, you're not likely accessing care at times when you need it.
Often what happens is distress in men gets turned into silence or anger or substance abuse, withdrawal, or even an explosive type of a crisis.
68% of young men turn to family and friends for help, compared to 54% of racialized men, meaning local initiatives work overtime to offer men a safe space.
Because a lot of our men walk with that baggage of being hurt, being scarred, having those trust issues, those abandonment issues, and you just want to be present and give them that capacity to know that, hey, I will show up for you, but first and foremost, I have to get you to trust me.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, a talented chef from Hong Kong finds an appreciative market for his cheesecake around here. First, though, your wake-up weather. Here's a live look at the Armdale Roundabout on this Wednesday evening, just about Thursday morning. 18 degrees right now. Kaylin's Wake Up is coming up next.
News doesn't wait, and neither should you. At home, at work, and on the go, stay connected with a team you can trust, anytime, anywhere. CTV Atlantic and ctvatlantic.ca. Watch live on Crave.
Just like that, it's Thursday morning. We'll kick it off with the wake-up weather from Kaylin Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce. And the start of the day for Thursday is going to feature some fog around the Maritimes, partly cloudy conditions. Morning temperatures fairly mild, mostly around the low to mid-teens. In the afternoon, it's a mix of sun and cloud. A lot of parts of the Maritimes tomorrow can expect high temperatures in the low to mid-20s. So it does remain a little bit cooler for Prince Edward Island and eastern areas of Nova Scotia, including Cape Breton. Bruce.
Thank you, Kaylin. Well, a pastry chef from Hong Kong came to Halifax 8 years ago with the goal of sharing his Japanese cheesecakes. As CTV's Mike Lamb shows us tonight, every one of them is baked daily with a whole lot of love.
It's really good. It's really soft and sweet. It tastes amazing.
My name is Eric. I'm the owner of Bake Room Japanese Cheesecake. I have been a baker for more than 20 years in Hong Kong already. And 2020, I come to Halifax because we are looking for a better quality of life. We found that the community and the people are very kind and very nice. So we fall in love with Halifax. 6 years ago, I started business making Japanese cheesecake. The reason I make it because I want to bring people happiness. Having the cheesecake is the simple way to making people smile. Japanese cheesecake is light and fluffy and not too sweet. For every cake, we put a stamp on it. It's the logo of our business. On the logo, there's a name, Elaine June, is my wife. She is the boss. This is my main goal of making cheesecake, making people happy.
Bet we know what you're craving right now. Okay, that is the broadcast for this Wednesday night, Thursday morning. If you joined us a little bit late tonight, don't worry about it. You can always catch up online, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It is your home for news, and it updates right around the clock. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening. We do hope to see you again tomorrow.